Alright, guys, last season was a positive season for us. We got European football, we stayed up in the league, that was my goal. Let's see what signings we made for season 2 of EFL only. So, sales wise, where are we? We sold Christopher Ayer. Um, they'll say 2.2 million. He's gone on loan for 2.2 million, and I think the permanent deal is coming through on. Oh, wait, no. That was. Anyway, we sold Sepp Vandenberg for 20 million. I think that was in January. So where are our sales? Frank Onyeka, 16 million, brilliant. We sold Uatara for 50 million, made profit on him. Valdemarson, who was our backup goalkeeper, has left for 5 million. Jaden Magoma, who was at Rangers on loan, for 6 million. And then Christopher Ayer, there is, leaving for 16.5 million, so that's perfect. And of course, we did make some signings. So after January, these are our signings. We signed Iger Tyjan from Blackburn Rovers. We've loaned him out to Montpellier for him to get some development. Definitely one for the future. He looks pretty decent. Could be our striker or our attacking midfielder in the future. We signed Malel Polendankov, um, a Bulgarian international there. How much did we sign him for? It was about 3 million um, from Millwall, I believe. Oh no, Sheffield United. So he was a decent choice. He's not got the best potential, but I was told he had 4 star. He doesn't have 4 star. And then we signed Jay Robinson from Southampton. He came in for 22.5 million, and he's already helped me out. Shadi got injured, so Jay Robinson had to start, and he's already dropped 2 assists in our league games this season. We then signed Ismail from Leicester, who's a young regen already. He thought he was ready to take a step up, and I believed in him as well. So he came in. He's going to play in the academy for a couple seasons, get a loan move to maybe a championship club, get some development in him, and hopefully he'll be around for our Champions League win. He has an unambitious personality though, so we just got to hope he develops. Oliver Arblaster came in as well. We loaned him back out to Sheffield United, so hopefully he can get um, a good bit of development. Sorry, and then come back into our midfield next season, where I think he could be ready for it then. Charlie Hughes was brought in for our backline. I was a big fan of him for the last season. We got him for a bit of a cheaper deal than we were going to get last year. I really like his passing on the ball, and he's been pretty decent so far for us. Abdul Fatawi was brought in because, of course, we sold Dango Atara. I took a look at this guy's stats, and he was much better, or so I thought. Brought him in, he got injured immediately. He's just coming back from injury now, so hopefully he can get a few starts and a couple goals in the Premier League. And then, of course, we signed Pierce Charles' brother, Shay Charles, ready for the Premier League with 2 brothers in our team. Here's how we're lining up. Still the 4-2-3-1 system. Tommy Conway's developed very nicely to be our starting striker. We'll have Abdul Fatawu out on the right here when he's ready from injury. There he is. We'll start him out there. We have Kevin Shada in there, or even where's Jay Robinson? I think he was just injured. Jay Robinson in there. Leif Davis will play out at left back. Aaron Hickey at right back. With Michael Coyote on the bench. That's a good position for us. Fullbacks are a solid position. Centre backs as well. We've got Clark, Hughes, and Edwards. And then Stolarczyk and Pierce rotate as well. Our midfield, we have Yarmolyuk, who is developing really nicely. Of course, has never played in the Championship. That's not a problem for me. He can just keep going. I say Championship is EFL. Guys, I'm sorry to the fans of clubs that aren't in the Championship or in the EFL. I'm sorry I keep saying that. We have lone players like Mamadou Doumbia out at Nuremberg, where he can hopefully develop even more, which he's doing. Anthony Malambo wasn't going to play him, so he got loaned out. I'm sure we did some other loan moves. I'm not sure. Not in the U18s, potentially U21s. No. Ibrahim Fula, I thought, could get a couple games in the first team, so I decided to keep him rather than loan him. But he's playing too much in this U21 team, so we might have to get him into the main team. So other than that, there's not a lot left for me to say, other than we're sitting in ninth. We've got 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Let's take a look at that. So we played the Community Shield and lost 3-1. Then we played Liverpool in the league in our next game and lost 3-1 again, so it seems we're consistent. We then beat Newcastle 2-0, Kevin Shadow the GOAT. Then we went away to Nottingham Forest, drew 0-0, so 2 clean sheets in a row. Then we got Burnley at home, Tommy Conway and Shea Charles both scoring, so that's that EFL link right there. Another clean sheet, that's 3 in a row. And then we had Exeter, where I rotated the team so we could just have more minutes all around and people having happiness, and we won 4-1 there. We do have Europa League games, so we have Bodo Glimt, Trabzonspor, Rennes, Union Saint-Gilloise, Stuttgart, Torino, Monaco and Ajax. So our fixtures are actually very hard, but that won't stop us. So I'll see you in January, where hopefully we've made good progress through this season, and hopefully we're signing more EFL players. So I'll see you then. Alright guys, so I just thought I'd show you our January signing here. Although we are at the end of the season, our January signing, Jeremy Monga, joined us from Leicester, who did not get promoted yet again. So we were able to keep him up, to buy him up. And he is the wonder kid of FM26, I reckon. He's played off the bench a lot for us, but he's managed to grab 5 goals and 3 assists. He will definitely be Kevin Shadow's replacement off this left hand side if he decides to leave. And we've already got Jeremy Monga in and ready. Nothing else really went on. We did sell Thiago to the Championship side Bournemouth, where he did grab 4 goals in 4 games, so fair enough. And we did loan out Ibrahim Fula, who managed to get an assist as well, so nothing too much went on. But you guys saw the title. Can the EFL team win the Europa League? And to answer that question, we're going to have to look through our fixtures. So we beat Bodo Glimt 4-1 on the first day. We then beat Trabzonspor 2-0. We did lose to Rennes 3-1, but then we beat Saint-Gilloise 5-3, Stuttgart 4-1, Torino 4-1. We drew with Monaco 1-1 and then beat Ajax 2-1. So where do you think we were sitting there? This is going to be a little spoiler, but where do you think we were sitting? Third place. We had 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss to get in third place there. Of course, we then skipped the knockout playoff round to head to the round of 16, where we beat Sparta Prague 6-4, so it wasn't very comfortable, but we did do it. We then found in the quarterfinals were Werder Bremen, where we beat them 6-1 on aggregate, and then we headed to the semi-finals, where if we had found maybe Porto or Fiorentina, we would have had a nice time, but it was Chelsea. And you know, Chelsea have beat us in the league more often than not. But if we go look at these games, guys, how we lost this final game, I don't even know. Here we beat them 3-2. It was a good performance away from home, exactly what you'd expect. 1.89 xG. We dominated the shooting stats. Just possession was the only stat we were losing on there. You can see the impact of our EFL boys coming through there. And then the second leg, where we did eventually lose 2-1, we had 3 xG. We only scored 1 goal from 21 shots. It's severely disappointing. We definitely should have gone through. 2 missed penalties in a row from Conway and Carvalho was just enough to send us out. Stolarczyk made the save, but that wasn't enough. Fernandez Pardo then knocked us out from the Europa League, which is quite sad. So yeah, the title, no we can't. Not this season anyway, and not next season either. As if you're looking at the table here, where are we? 12th place. We finished in 12th. We were down in 17th until the 35th game of the season. We were not doing too well. I had to come back. It seems the holiday doesn't really work, and it's a bit overpowered if you play the games. Is what I'm finding. Although we did lose coming to the end of the season. This is around where I came back to see out some of these Europa League games. Just around here actually. So we went unbeaten through there, and the only game we lost was this Chelsea game in the Europa League. So it does seem like if you're playing your games, you're going to win them. But Holiday seems to really throw your team off the game, especially if players get upset, which they definitely did. So for next season, we'll take a look at players we can bring in. Of course, we can't sign any players that got relegated from the Premier League. And if we just look at the Championship here, and we can't sign anybody from teams that are going up either. So Bournemouth, Birmingham, and Bristol City are teams that are off limit, and they kind of take up the best players in the league. So if we look here, we can't sign. Well, I don't have any of their ratings. We can't sign Semenyo, who I would have loved. Alex Scott can't be signed. Jimenez is good right back. You know, Senesi would have been nice. Diakite perhaps, but we can't sign them. And then Birmingham went up automatically as well. They don't have that good of a team compared to um, Bournemouth, but they do have this wonder kid here, Fred O'Keefe Smith, who I am interested in picking up, but I no longer can, as he's heading into the Premier League. He's going to be then, if he gets relegated, I can't sign him for another year after that, by which point he'll probably be snapped up anyway. And of course, Bristol City, who did go on to beat Leicester, who we have signed a lot of their players. They don't really have anyone worth me signing. Max Bird could be a good midfielder. Um, he would really fit my system pretty well. Attacking midfielder and then pressing defensive midfielder. Could be interesting to find out if he would be good. He just doesn't really have the physicals, but he'll get added to the shortlist for sure. Of course, we can't sign players that got relegated from the Premier League, so no West Brom, no Burnley, and no Coventry. And yeah, next season is really just trying to get back into the European places. I'll show you the squad so you guys can get a little glimpse of what we're dealing with here. We have Jakub Stolarczyk in goals. I did try to get Ramsdale at the start of the season. He went to West Brom instead and they got relegated, so have that, yeah, bam. But Stolarczyk really came into his own this season. Um, he almost got us to the Europa League final. Coyote wants a new deal. Him and Hickey are kind of just rotating. I'll just do this deal on camera with you guys. So him and Hickey just kind of rotate. And I'm fine with the release clause getting chucked in there. If he gets upset, that'll just get activated. Christoph Klarer, I think it may be his time to go. You know, he was solid. He's been solid for 2 seasons now. I want to see his career rather than that. Solid for 2 seasons. Just the same average rating, but I think Ronnie Edwards and Charlie Hughes did a bit better, and they could still develop through their careers. You can see a 6.87 overall there for Charlie Hughes, who played 30 games in the Prem for us. Really good passer of the ball, of course. Just not as physical as you'd like, but he's still pretty good. We had Leif Davis, of course, the main man on the left. We'll be sticking around until we find someone better. Shay Charles had an utter brilliant season in the Europa League, and he developed into quite the player. One of the best midfielders in the Premier League, that's for sure. I'm very happy with the acquisition for him for relatively cheap. For what he gave us, relatively cheap. A massive fan of Shea Charles there. Oh, and then Yahya Maliuk, he's good through the midfield as well. We've got two young midfielders who'll stick around for the whole career. Abdul Fatawi was absolutely brilliant. 20 goals, 10 assists through this season. 9 in the Prem, 6 assists as well, and he got 8 and 4 in the Europa League. He was phenomenal. And then, yep, Jeremy Monga was good as well. Jay Robinson, decent start to this season. Did drop off. We didn't score when he was in the team really. He may be looking at a loan next season. Tommy Conway, 21 goals, 7 assists would be a good outcome on a regular season, but he is the one that cost us the final. Can't even lie to you, he cost it. The chances he missed, unforgivable. Kevin Shad, of course, 23-13. He was upset at the start of the season wanting to leave, I believe. So we might have to give him just that. But nothing, no one interested, so we can keep him around where possible. Pierce Charles there, not making too many appearances still. Just our backup goalie, Aaron Hickey, doing extremely well. Mikhail Damsgaard, our attacking midfielder, very happy with what we've got here. Fabio Carvalho off the bench as well, 9 goals, 3 assists. We can really be happy that he's here because he was in the Championship, wasn't he? Fulham, Hull, you know, very good player. And then, of course, Ronnie Edwards on the bench here. I think he's our best centre back at the moment. The game doesn't seem to think so, but I think he's great on the ball, and that's what we need, kind of composure. Great mentals for it, great technicals for it. He just needs those physicals. Didn't play a lot of football, but he will next season if Clara was to leave. But yeah, that's how we're looking, and I think I know where we can improve. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in the third season.